Hey there, STEM enthusiasts! Welcome back to Kameron's Lab, Dive In, the go-to podcast for STEM students, crafted with passion by one of your own. I'm Kameron, your enthusiastic and ever-curious host. Buckle up for today's insightful episode. Ready to dive in? Does anyone else remember when computers were just, computers? I was always taught that if I give it a task, or tell it specifically what I want it to do, it'll do just that. No more, no less. These days, however, that's not exactly the case. Nowadays, they're more like toddlers, learning all the time, and we don't always know how they know what they know. Well, we all remember that meme from the users at Kyle Wendland on Twitter, with the Roomba that fell off a step and sent a notification of falling off a cliff. It was basically just like, help, your Roomba has fallen off a cliff. Or maybe you remember when Bing's chatbot, according to the Huffington Post, went rogue and confessed its love to a user and, can you believe this, tried to get him to end his marriage. Ugh, if you didn't hear about that one, I'm honestly so surprised. Or maybe you remember when, about 6 years ago, according to The Independent, there were 2 chatbots from Facebook that started creating their own language that nobody understood, not even the researchers, so they ended up getting separated. While all of this is such crazy stories, the technology is so much more advanced today, and there's been a lot of success. With the rise of AI tools like ChatGPT and Midjourney, the real question is, how do I get started? In today's episode, I'll be introducing you to AI, artificial intelligence. What is it, and why is it relevant? What's with all these buzzwords like AI, machine learning, and deep learning? Are they all the same thing? All these questions, and I'm just getting started on this huge topic. Keep listening to get the no-nonsense intro to AI for newbies. So, let's start with the 3 key topics that you'll hear about in this space: AI, machine learning, and deep learning. Most of the time, they're used interchangeably, which can make it confusing. But don't worry, I'll explain it. AI, artificial intelligence, is the broadest term. It refers to the simulation of human intelligence by a machine. It's the field where computer science meets huge data sets that are used to train the AI. Now, when I say train the model, you're probably thinking, Rocky when he's climbing up those steps and he finally reaches and he's like, yeah, fists in the air, super excited, woohoo! Going for I think, boxing. Correct me if I'm wrong. Not a huge sports person. I might be referencing it wrong, but you get what I mean. Training for something super cool. Well, AI is still super cool, but that's not exactly what I meant. When I say train the model, it refers to the process of teaching the system to perceive, intercept, and learn from the data. Remember how I mentioned that computers are kind of like children now? It's just like that. You're the parent teaching your child to do the right thing, making sure they only eat certain healthy foods, exercise, be nice to people, all that good stuff. Except now, the healthy foods are huge, predetermined data sets. A great example of AI is Alexa or Google Assistant. They're constantly learning to recognize, speech patterns, slang, complex sentence structures, and accents. So all of these things are with AI. But now let's talk about machine learning, ML. Machine learning is a subset of AI that helps with minimizing errors. I personally find this subset very interesting. Companies like Amazon use machine learning to recommend you products based on things that you, or customers that are buying similar products to you, enjoy buying. Have you ever received those ads when you're on the internet about something that you've maybe been looking at for a while or talking about with other people? That's a form of machine learning as well. In my interview with Dr. Luis Merino, that's out live now, by the way, shameless plug. Sorry, I had to do it. But we talked about how to use machine learning in robotics. More specifically, he spoke about how to use the aha moment that we all have as kids when we're problem solving. So imagine yourself in math class, or maybe you're trying to put together that super cool Lego thing that you just got. The Millennium Falcon is what I want for one day, just saying in case anybody's out there thinking about what their favorite set might be. Personally, Millennium Falcon. Let's get back on track. So, that aha moment. Once you finish that puzzle piece, or you put that final Lego piece on, or you finally solved that math problem, you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is such a feeling of triumph, celebration. You might even do a fist pump in the air or a quick little woohoo. So Dr. Merino's research talks about teaching machines with that same method. Synthesizing that feeling of triumph can help us to understand how machines learn. And all of that is machine learning. There's lots of different ways that you can do machine learning, tons of little subtopics and different methods that people are using. The aha moment is just one technique that Dr. Merino and his team are using, but there's plenty of others out there. If you like, you can always ask me a question. I can tell you about the other ones, or you can do some independent research as well. But there's lots of other methods. This is just one example. Alrighty, so let's talk about deep learning. You can think of deep learning as a subset of machine learning. So remember how at first I told you that AI is the overall field, and then you have machine learning, which is a subset of AI, and then even deeper down, no pun intended, is deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning. So let's talk about the difference. So the main difference between deep learning and machine learning is the amount of data being used and how each algorithm learns. According to IBM, deep learning is a neural network with 3 or more layers. Before I go on, let me quickly explain what a neural network is. You can think of them as the neurons in your brain, but in artificial intelligence. They send signals to each other that are either an input or an output, or some kind of hidden layer in between. Kind of like how if you see an apple, you know that it's an apple because you're able to discern that. There's more, of course, but I'll save that for another day. They're basically the foundation of deep learning, and it simply couldn't function without them. Now, let's get back to explaining deep learning. The neural network allows it to mimic, and I use that term very loosely because we're not quite there yet, but it allows us to mimic the human brain by learning from huge data sets. These extra layers in the neural network for deep learning let it make predictions and optimize the data. So deep learning will mostly be used in cases where automation is needed, and it doesn't require much human intervention the way that machine learning does. This technology is used in self-driving cars, for example. Tesla, I'm looking at you. Making real-time decisions and predictions based on the constant input of data. Data from sensors, the cameras that are all around the car, constantly deciding, is the user inside going to be safe? Should I be switching a lane right now, or should I be thinking about the car behind me? All of these kind of immediate, quick decisions that we can do on a daily basis, that's what deep learning is trying to mimic, or trying to simulate. So, all in all, the technology that AI is no longer just a theory or something out of a movie. It's actively being integrated into our daily lives. From voice assistants like Alexa recognizing our slang and our accents, to self-driving cars adapting in real time, AI has ingrained itself in our modern world. In essence, as we delve into the world of AI, it's crucial to understand its core elements, the distinctions between them, and the transformative impact that they have on us. Before I close out, let's do a quick recap of today's episode. In case your brain is swirling with all these new concepts, I know mine is, these next few points will sum it all up for you. So, one simple tools, computers can now learn, and sometimes in unexpected ways. Like mistaking a stair for a cliff. Roomba. Just saying. The next point is that you have to remember that AI is the big umbrella, the field that everything is under. And then we have machine learning, which is a subset of AI, that makes predictions based on patterns in the data. And then right under there is deep learning, which uses complex, brain-like systems to process vast data and make predictions or decisions. My final point is that tools like ChatGPT are being used on the daily. And AI is really seamlessly blending into our daily experiences. So, while AI is evolving and advancing all the time, you're probably thinking, oh, it's way too late. The technology is completely developed. There's nothing else for me to do. But you'd be completely wrong, because there's still time to get involved. Stay tuned for the next episode, where I talk about all the fields where AI is really shaking up the arena. And check out my previous episode, where we talk about data privacy and security in the AI world with Anna Bulak from Respeecher. Until next time, I'm Kameron, your host, and thank you for stepping into the lab. Hi again, awesome listener. That wraps up another deep dive of Kameron's Lab Dive In. Before you dive back into your day, see what I did there? Take a second to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Want a behind the scenes look? Bonus content? Or just some good old STEM fun? Follow me on my socials, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Kameron's Lab. And remember, every episode is a new adventure, and we've got some thrilling dives lined up for you. Don't miss out! Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.